And good morning at 7:04 on this Tuesday, December 12th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is a Tuesday morning. Frost is on the pumpkin. There's any pumpkins out there still. And maybe 30 degrees this morning. That's what it said on my car thermometer. We welcome you to our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And today we'll be talking with a representative from the city of Mount Juliet. And I'll let you guess who that's going to be while I do this for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Colon cancer is the second deadliest cancer in the United States. In recent years, colon cancer is being detected in younger people at higher rates. Colon cancer does not show symptoms, but it may cause frequent stomach pain, blood in the stool, and unexpected weight loss. Here's 5 habits to help prevent colon cancer. 1. Exercise regularly and maintain a healthy weight. 2. Incorporate lots of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains into your diet. 3. Limit your intake of red meat and animal fats. 4. Don't smoke tobacco and limit how much alcohol you drink. 5. Make sure you're getting enough vitamin D in addition to these habits. It's important to get regularly screened for colon cancer. The American Cancer Society recommends people with an average risk for colorectal cancer start regular screening at age 45. For more information, visit VanderbiltWilsonCountyHospital.com. Well, Mount Juliet Mayor James Maness is with us this morning. And Mayor, good morning. We welcome you.
Well, good morning. It's great to be here with you.
A little bit frosty and cool out there today, but it's about typical for this time of year.
It definitely is. You know, that's what I call good wake you up weather. As soon as you walk out, you get woke up.
Yeah, right. I just mentioned the tornado, and we were talking a little bit about that, and then I happened to remember, you sort of reminded me, we're not that far removed from one that came here, I guess a couple of years ago, something like that.
Yeah, March 2020 was, of course, the big one that struck the city, and we suffered some loss of life there as well.
March 2020. Well, that'll soon be 4 years then. Okay, time flies.
Yeah, we had the second one in December, right, roughly on the same day as this last one that we had that struck in December 21.
Well, I know they're recovering. There are probably still a few people who don't have electricity back on, and you feel for those, especially on a cold morning like this. But they're, I'm sure, making the best of it. You've been through some of this. You kind of know what it's like, and it's not pleasant.
It's not, and it's very overwhelming, I can say, from a personal standpoint. Not so much that I was impacted directly by the tornado, but just the efforts of ongoing efforts. And it's just like, it seemed like every day, you would find something else that it came up or come up along the way on the events. But I said too last night, the city of Mount Juliet's responded for sending first responders over to those neighboring cities as needed, and then we're sending the grapple trucks out. Trying to coordinate that yesterday. They'll probably go out today to assist. But I remember from a personal standpoint back with the March when that, just trying to assess and you're trying to get a good feel for everything's going on. I was like, I'm holding it together emotionally good until the day I come around, and it was I guess quitting time for them and come back to the command center, and you saw those vehicles from the other municipalities there. And it's just that sense that you're not alone as a municipality. And I mean, there was no shortage of volunteers working those days. I don't want to imply that, but it was just something to see all those other cities come together, and that's what got me.
Yep. Well, you had a Board of Commissioners meeting last night, the last one for this month, last one for this year, I guess.
That is correct. That's correct. Yes, we're going to skip the Christmas meeting. So that lands that away this year. So as I said, we did so well, we wrapped up for the year.
What of significance happened last night?
I think the biggest thing that happened last night was just the second passage of the budget amendment to purchase land for a new fire station. We've got the old station that currently sits behind City Hall. It's got a lot of challenges, and I'll leave that at that. But this is just a good site for us. It coming at a good price. better positions us for where we need to be and going to free up that space. It's really going to go a long ways to correcting something that needs to be addressed for a while now.
Where is this location?
It's right off of, I want to say, it's right off Old Lebanon Dirt Road. It's kind of close to the intersection of Old Lebanon Dirt Road and Mount Juliet Road.
Well, I guess maybe, is that a little bit more centrally located?
It covers some areas out closer to the county line as we go down Old Lebanon Dirt Road. There's some neighborhoods back there that really didn't reach the coverage from the current station. We'll be, of course, building a fourth station at some point over there that's going to fill back in some of the gaps on the other side of it. But this really helps us centrally locate one is, and there was a long-term plan that would have called for another station out there. So this will help cover that need for us.
Well, you have really, I think, come a long way in a fairly short time here as far as especially fire service, fire protection is concerned.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We put a lot of effort, a lot of work into this.
At one time, and not too long ago, pretty much your fire protection was provided by the county, by WEMA, wasn't it?
That's correct. Our fire department now is 10 years old. We just opened up our second station, so broke ground on it in 2020. So at this point, we're kind of gotten ourselves on a pace for, looks like we're doing a groundbreaking next year on this one. So we've got a four-year window breaking ground on the station. So it's a very concerted, deliberate effort on better emergency services for us.
Let me bring up something here, and this will probably take us to the time we go to the break. There's been some ethics complaints, let's say, and you were involved in that. Some of the other members of the Board of Commissioners. Has that pretty much been settled, or where are we on that?
That's kind of a hard question for me to answer, from the sense that, yes, they have been, 4 of the 6 have been settled, as in dismissed. I've still got a lot of questions as to what went down, how that happened. We're still, asking questions. I found out I was with Leadership Wilson last week and just got a call from the press, and they wanted to comment about, what's your comment on it being dismissed? And I was like, I didn't know it had been dismissed. So I've submitted open records request from the city, and I'm told there are no records of the meetings. They occurred, I guess, what they call executive sessions, so they're all behind closed doors. So I've asked questions, and I've not got satisfactory answers as to what exactly happened. So the committee did not meet with myself or any of the other complainants, and I don't know if they voted or how that decision was made. I haven't got an answer.
You brought something up on this, so evidently you're pretty concerned about the situation, that it's not something that you want to sweep under the rug or forget about. And so I get that drift from just what you just now said, and that you maybe really aren't pleased with the way this has been handled.
I'm not. I don't fully understand the process that we went down. It's hard for me to answer questions when I can't get my questions answered. And
well, the ethics thing about this, what is ethical, what is not, I think it sounds to me like that's where you're coming from.
It is, and it seemed pretty cut and dry to me as to what the situation was, but I guess we'll just have to say to be determined until we can get some more answers on why. There's still 2 more complaints out there. Okay. Don't involve me, but there are 2 more complaints out there that are filed that I believe will be heard at the beginning of January.
So it would be safe to say this it isn't all over yet.
Well, I think it's all over from ethics standpoint. There's a 30-day statute of limitations for ethics complaints, so we're well past that. So I don't think there's any other actions that can be taken from an ethics commission. Okay. All right. Well, we'll let that go. MJ, if you're ready, I think this would be a good time for us to take a break. Mount Juliet Mayor James Maness is with us. We've got a lot more to talk about. And a reminder, our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. High performance, high horsepower, 0% financing is still a thing. Now is the best time to save on new Kubota L-Series tractors, rated #1 for durability and owner experience in the U.S. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's really starting to build now with that volume and trying to get out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County on 24 West, headed up through the Hickory Hollow area. Traffic's on the increase over here in Hermitage, also on 40 West at Donaldson Pike, coming past Stewart's Ferry as it continues to build up there on Vietnam Vets. It's a little bit heavier now coming inbound on Vietnam Vets because of so many streets and roads that are still closed in parts of Sumner County, the Hendersonville area. 65's already running slow southbound through Millersville. Prince's Hot Chicken, they're catering this holiday season. Check them out online at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
We continue here on this Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us. Our thanks to Mount Juliet Mayor James Mangus for coming in this morning. And let's talk to you. We were talking about the weather earlier. And of course, the weather did postpone your Christmas parade.
That's correct. We had a beautiful tree lighting the night before it was scheduled, which was Friday. Went great. We were monitoring the weather there, and actually Saturday's weather didn't turn out so bad as the time when the parade was scheduled. But
it was a thing of caution, really.
It really was, and I mean, I've heard some people that say, "Well, we could have had it," but I'm like, I was looking at the same weather reports they were for that time at Saturday, and it actually turned out to be a really good thing for the community in the sense that we were able to use the parade to collect some donations for the cities that were suffering out there. We got a lot of donations for water and various other things that we've been able to collect. I know the fire department's taken some of that over to those cities this morning. And then after I leave here, I'm going to run a trip of stuff over to a school out in Davison County that's got a lot of students that are impacted. So we're going to take them some supplies out there as well.
How would you assess the city of Mount Juliet here? Maybe good and bad as we come to the end of 2023. It's what kind of year have we had, first of all, and where are we where we need to go?
Well, we've had a great year in terms of the city. Chief Hambrick retiring. He's done such a phenomenal job as far as his staff bringing that up. Really put us in a good place as far as continuation of leadership. We swore in what's Deputy Chief Mullins. We swore him in as chief last night, and Captain Tyler as Deputy Chief, sworn in last night. So from that standpoint, I mean, the city are continuing. We've had about a 15-year downward trend for us crime rates in the city, and that's going to keep continuing going. Great year for business recruitment coming in there into our city. We've got ribbon cutting for BJ's. And, tomorrow they do the ribbon cutting and opening up on Friday. So really good things like that are continuing to happen in the city. We're still holding out hope. I know back in January, had the meeting with Governor Lee about the interchange out there. We're really hoping to get some good news before the end of the year on that. I don't have any inside information, but definitely fingers crossed is that we'll get something good on here. That's what I've asked Santa for.
If my memory is right, you committed $25 million to this back last January.
That is correct. We did. We went and talked
to help the state
decide.
What do you envision? And this is not going to happen overnight. And of course, even if it started in a few months here, you're talking about what, 2 or 3 years, maybe?
At least. We've got a period of right-of-way acquisition. So the right-of-way will have to be acquired, and then after that, we can go into the construction phase. Now, as a kind of a prerequisite to that, the city's currently ongoing some studies, engineering the plans to get the portion of Central Pike that's going to be not included in this project. It's going to come and be the gap between Mount Juliet Road and where this project lets off. We're getting the ball rolling on that. We've got some opportunities for some private funding in terms of people wanting to develop in that area to come in and help contribute to that road as well. But this is for us, it's if you look at the stats for its permits pulled, Mount Juliet's down like number 3 for its growth inside the county. And we're experiencing a lot of growth, and there's growth not just in the areas outside the city and the unincorporated areas, but even the counties south of us. I mean, it's a lot of traffic that comes through there. This interchange is a game changer for us as far as being able to move traffic through the Providence area. This also creates another economic zone for us, and by completing this, and it's something that we're investing in, seeking a return on that, so that we can use money to apply for other areas like areas of congestion in Beckwith, Lebanon Road in there. This is one that's going to pay back to help us address other issues in the city as far as infrastructure needs that we have.
Do you have any idea when dirt might get turned?
Well, the dirt was not going to turn until we get the right of way on it.
Okay, well, when right of ways will be secured. When's it going to start? I know you're working on it now, but it's really up to the state, isn't it?
It's really up to the state for when they choose to adopt this. And part of the process going into this year, they got a lot of additional funding from the General Assembly. So TDOT just kind of sent out this, I don't know if you call it a survey, but that's really kind of what it was. It was a survey, like, what are your needs? They've collected all that information. They're going to release this list at some point, and we'll know exactly where we stand. But, because the city has stepped up with the commitment for the funds that we've committed to the interchange, that allows, we don't have to wait for the state budget cycle to go through for approval. We could, in theory, start almost instantly because the city's got the funds. We could start with those funds and start that right away on it. There's been some surveying taking place on this, from the city standpoint. We've got just a building, for example, out there that's going up for sale. I mean, the city's jumping on that building now to get that before it gets a new use in there, so we're not trying to relocate another use. Those are all things that we have actively going. So as soon as we get the green light, I mean, the money is there from the city standpoint to start working day one.
Mayor, it used to be that when we mentioned Mount Juliet, when we had a representative from Mount Juliet, it nearly was always Kenny Martin. At some point, it seems he kind of got into the woodwork as far as we're concerned. I've seen him maybe once or twice in the last couple of years, but he's still doing what he's been doing as far as I know. How close do you two work together? He's the city manager.
Yeah, and I tell you, he's my number one contact. I don't say I talk to him daily, but there's a few days that I give him a break. But he's my go-to for as anything, and I'm always calling it like everything good, everything. Where are we at? I meet with a lot of people. I usually have Kenny along with me, just so we can usually it's just quicker that way to have Kenny there to jump in. It's like, well, we can do this with staff, we can do that. Where are we at in the process? So, yep. I mean, I got a meeting set up Friday with Kenny. I'll talk with him just about every day about something.
But he is still part of a recruiting effort, isn't he?
He is.
New businesses. I mean, he knows the territory and is actively working it seems.
He is, and he definitely is. And it wouldn't matter if it was his job responsibility or not. I mean, he's just passionate about getting the right folks into Mount Juliet, putting the pieces together. When I was first elected, he was. I will say he predates Butch Jones in talking about the brick by brick, but it was like one piece is built on the other. So, man, he really taught me a lot about that, his efforts. He's like, this piece, while it doesn't seem like it's significant, this one leads to the next. And that's Kenny, and he works tirelessly. I mean, I don't know when the man sleeps.
Well, you've had some real successes, some announcements. It's made some big things coming. What and I know you can't talk a lot about. You probably know things that just not able to mention yet. Those things have to be kept under wraps till the developer is ready to reveal it. I think we all understand that. But as we look to 2024 and 2025 and what might be coming, how optimistic are you about the next couple of years?
I'm very optimistic, and that's despite some of the forecasts out there with interest rates and other things that you see people suffering as far as the investment world going into. But we've got things positioned, and just mentioned BJ's opening soon, and next year everybody's got the big one on the radar, Costco coming in. Yeah. But we've also with this. Potential for an interchange out there opens up a lot of stuff that's just sitting there almost ready to go. As soon as those conversations can pick back up with the infrastructure piece, as far as the Providence Central there, a lot of it's pad ready over there. We got rooms to go, about to go, so they're about to get started. So it's a lot of things. It's a lot of pieces that are going to come together. Especially around that Costco area there. You've probably seen the announcement with the plans, and it's still got second reading on it. As far as bringing in the bowling alley, a lot of commercial development around that, and that's just part of that's being spurred on by the investment that Costco's making across the street.
What are your concerns? Are there serious concerns about infrastructure? And a lot of Mount Juliet is fairly new compared to Lebanon. I mean, there are places in Lebanon where there's been sewer, I guess, for 100 years or longer, and I don't think you have much of that in Mount Juliet. But I'm wondering about infrastructure problems, water, sewer, gas, those sorts of things. Are there any significant problems that need to be addressed?
Well, you mentioned the ages on that thing. I do have to say happy birthday to the city. It's 51st birthday today.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. It's also my daughter's 19th birthday, and I believe it's Mayor Hutto's birthday as well today. So happy birthday.
You've been looking at somebody's calendar.
So, there are always concerns about infrastructure. For us, gas is a private utility that works at most of the utilities are. We run the sewer system capacity on that. We've got to go back into renegotiations with Nashville for us that. We've got a sewer equalization basin that we purchased land for about a year or so on it to get ahead of the demands on it. For me, it's about getting the right infrastructure, the right place. Sometimes you'll see criticisms on social media. It's like they just do everything for the money. Well, it's an interesting position because I've never built a single road without some money. I've never hired any police officers or firefighters without money. I recommend people try living in a city that doesn't have any money and let me know how they like that approach to it. So it's always trying to get the funding lined up. What's next? What contributes back to us? What puts the biggest bang back into the community? And it's kind of satisfying, too, to know that every time you recruit one of these entities into the city or position something to make that happen, is that local option sales tax that the city exists off of, as far as our funding, that there's an equal amount going right back into our school system to help them pay for new buildings and whatever else comes along, teachers, bus drivers, all those things that come along from being funded by that. So.
Well, you mentioned schools, and when it used to be, you thought of high schools, you thought of Mount Juliet High, and now you got Green Hills. So allegiance there in the city kind of has to be divided anymore.
We're technically split across three with Wilson Central as well. So.
Yeah, and in a way, Wilson Central's out there to themselves, and then of course we just got the one here in Lebanon, but really. We're probably going to have another one of these days. I don't know where it's going to be, and I don't know how long that's going to be. But if we continue to grow, I don't see any alternative.
I think that ball is rolling now on it. But yeah, with having three, for as me in football season, I usually just start out with my little spreadsheet there and try to figure out when everybody's playing at home so I can get to all the games again.
Well, speaking of games, we haven't, I don't think, you and I talked about it a minute before we went on air, but last night's Titans game, and we do carry their games here on WANT. That was some game last night, and I stayed up to the happy ending, behind by 2 touchdowns with less than 3 minutes to go, and the Titans managed to win.
That's amazing. Now, I think I haven't watched the game yet, but I saw where people had posted some stats on, like the odds of that happening.
Well, if they hadn't made 3 critical mistakes, no telling how big a win they might have had. But anyway, we got a pull for them. We carry them. They're our local team. I thought I'd mention that anyway for those who might have slept and didn't know. But it was quite a victory. Appreciate you being here. We're about out of time here this morning. But
yes, sir.
It's always good to have the mayor of Mount Juliet. You've got You're really progressing. You've got a lot of things going, and it's good to inform us of what all is happening. So thanks for being with us.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to come out today, and it's always good.
All right, Mount Juliet Mayor James Maness, and that is part 1 of Coleman and Company, brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Stay with us for more. You're on FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. It's $59.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation and safety check. 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's really starting to get heavy now on 24 westbound up through the Hickory Hollow area, in from Rutherford County as you continue towards Nashville out of Murfreesboro. It's slow up in the Hendersonville area because everybody's having to take different routes from time to time here. It's heavier than it normally would be on Vietnam. That's coming westbound there at Conference Drive as it continues to build out of Wilson County through Hermitage right now on 40 going westbound here at Central Pine. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Middle Tennessee. Call Tomahawk Crane and Rigging at 423 area code 602-5438. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The refreshing cool after coming in from a hot summer day. The perfect temperature to kick off your shoes and relax with a good book. When the weather heats up, a new Rheem AC system will surround your family in total comfort. Are you feeling it? Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Hi, this is Wes Dugan. I'm your local agent for Farm Bureau Insurance, Castle Heights location. I've been serving the needs of the Lebanon Wilson County community for over 14 years and wanted to invite you to come into our Castle Heights office for a free insurance review. If you're considering changing insurance companies, you're welcome to stop by for a free quote. I'll even throw in a new Charlie Cab for stopping by. We will take care of your home, auto, life insurance, and health insurance needs. We're conveniently located at 214 North Castle Heights Avenue here in Lebanon, Tennessee. You can give us a call at 615-453-9702.
Beginning Monday, December 4th, Walker Auction and Realty presents an online auction featuring great merchandise from the Bates Ford moving sale. The auction includes antiques and memorabilia, as well as lifts, racks, shop tools, tires, furniture, shelving, and much more. For more information or to bid on the Bates Ford online moving sale, visit MikeWalkerAuctions.com.
Skies staying clear for us today with slightly warmer weather on the way. We're cold getting out the door in the 30s and 40s first thing. Expecting a high of 56 for the afternoon, plunging back into the mid-20s tonight. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Let's look at your forecast. I'm number 1 Ned.
Continue here on a Tuesday morning. Welcome to part 2 of Coleman and Company. John Dozier's here, and that's about all I need to say, I guess. We were ready to talk about Hearthside Senior Living. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Always good to have you.
Well, it's great to be here. We had a couple come in yesterday and have lunch with us. They called me last week and said, we'd like to bring our mom and dad in just to kind of get a good feel of the place and visit with the residents and, see if we know anybody. And, of course, when they got there, they knew half the people there and enjoyed the conversation and enjoyed the meal. And that's something we like to do, Coleman. We like to make sure folks feel comfortable when they move in, and not just, we're not just moving to a facility. We're moving to a community. We're moving to a place where they have friends and they have a community that they can socialize with, and they really enjoyed it. So we added them to our waiting list, and they're on our list for a medium or large room. Of course, we're licensed for 44, but we have 44 rooms, so we can put couples in those medium and large rooms. Actually, we can put them in our small rooms too, but most people want the medium or large rooms for two people. So we added them to our list, and I thought that was nice. Not only did they show up, but they brought their entire family. So we fed their entire family, which was like 6 or 7 people, and they stayed a while and toured, and I think they felt right at home. So I think when we have a room open, they'll pick Hearthside.
Well, I know you'd like to be able to satisfy somebody's needs immediately, but on the other hand, business-wise, that is a nice problem to have.
It is.
You have a waiting list.
And, I think the families are ready to pull the trigger now. They're ready to say, we're ready for mom and dad to move. But, our parents and our grandparents, they need a little time to process the situation. They need a little time to think about it and make sure it's right for them. And so that's not a bad thing to say, hey, maybe in a couple months, we will move here. And that gives them time to think about it and think about the benefits. And by the time their room opens up, let me tell you, they're ready to move because they've thought it through, and they've gotten back to their house and they realize, I don't take my medication timely. I don't eat as well. I'm sitting here watching Wheel of Fortune, and I don't really talk to anybody. So it really does make a difference to give them that time to process it, and then they move in and they're ready to go.
Well, you've seen this work out time after time, so obviously you know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about, and just because I see it every day.
Yeah.
And it's neat to be able to help people and be able to help families, make that decision, because it's not an easy decision. You live in a house for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and somebody's telling you, we think it's time for you to move to a community like Hearthside or any other wonderful community that we have here in town. And but it's I've told this story many times. We had a sister and two sisters. The sister was the other sister's POA, and the other sister was the older sister needed assisted living, and the younger sister was really pushing for it. But the older sister did not want to move, but the younger sister really pushed the issue, and we were able to help them and settle that issue. And she moved in, and now I told you before, I couldn't kick her out. So it's one of those things, once they get there, they really enjoy it. And I tell people, give us a week, give us 2 weeks, and their whole countenance changes, their whole attitude changes. And it's really amazing to see, maybe it's not 100% of the time, but it's very close to that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm kind of in your age category you're talking about, and I don't want somebody coming in telling me, demanding all of a sudden tomorrow you're moving.
Right.
No, give me a little time to think about it.
I think about my mom, she's still young, relatively young, and I think about me trying to tell her that I'm going to move her to an assisted living.
Yeah,
that's not going to work out too well. It's going to have to be her decision. It's going to have to be her. It's going to have to be her thought process to get to that, decision. And so I try to put myself in somebody's situation. You don't want to be told what to do. I don't want to be told what to do. Nobody wants to be told what to do. But if you can encourage it, if you can show them some benefits of it, it really does make a difference.
Okay, are you ready for a Hearthside?
Yeah, we had Christmas at Hearthside last week, and we had a great crowd, and I saw a lot of people at that event, and I've got a lot of Hearthside hellos. But today I want to give it to Donna Williams. I saw her at Linda Partlow's house, and she says she listens to you all the time. And so Donna Williams is our Hearthside hello today.
When you say she listens to me all the time, that kind of puts a smile on my face.
She does. She does. A lot of people do.
We appreciate that. Well, and this Hearthside hello to who now?
To Donna Williams.
Donna Williams. All right. Well, that kind of takes care of it for this time, but we'll be here next Tuesday. Hope you will be too.
Thank you.
All right. Sean Dozier, he is the Executive Director for Hearthside Senior Living, 215 Castle Heights Avenue North here in Lebanon. You can reach him at 615-443-1994. 22 minutes before 8 o'clock here on a Tuesday morning. And I want to welcome the Director of Schools for the Lebanon Special School District, Mr. Brian Hutto. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. Excited to be here today. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to have you as always.
Yeah, good deal. Happy holiday season. I'm sure it's in full tilt Coleman's way.
Yeah, I've been wondering as I sort of look over it. I see half the calendar over there. The other half is hidden behind the cabinet. But when I'm just wondering, when is school out?
That's a great question. So our students will finish out this week, and they'll come next Monday, and they have a 2-hour day on the 19th. So we're winding down for this first semester.
So actually, that is a week from today.
Correct. It's a week from today. So, yeah, we're excited to be here today. I brought a guest, got Assistant Director here for Lebanon Special, Becky Kegley. Intentionally, we have a board meeting that got rescheduled for next Monday. So I'm going to give you a rundown on perspective topics. We're excited about it. First of all, this board meeting.
Well, let me
jump in.
Say hello to Becky Kegley and welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's nice to see you today.
Thanks for having me.
And I hope things are fine with you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, bro.
Well, I'm going to let Miss Kegley. She's going to take most of this. So we'll get some business stuff out of the way.
All
but this board meeting, it's our recognition opportunity. So in December, each school gets to pick a friend of education, and they pick an individual, and then they pick a business that has supported them over the past semester or the past year. And so it's a really good opportunity to bring in community members, and we get to show off how they've helped. So second part is tenure. We have 13 teachers that are eligible for tenure, and essentially that is they've invested the time, they have the scores, and it's the board's way of confirming we're happy you're employed. We want to continue that process, and then
and the tenure thing is a little more serious than it once was.
That is correct, Coleman. They've added some teeth to it, for lack of a better word, and it's something that's evaluated, but it's important to the teachers.
But it's not automatic as it almost once was.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. At one time you got 3 years in, you got tenure. Now it's 5 years, and there's a process.
Right. Okay.
So that's a great question, because this large group is a product of COVID, and we had a few years without scores, and that impacted some of these individuals getting tenure. So excited to be able to do that. We have a few business items, but really today, Coleman, we've talked about all the ways that Lebanon Special supports our families, and Ms. Kegley is integral with our student supports, and there's a range of topics, but wanted to bring her on today so we can just showcase, highlight some of the great things we're doing.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I am.
What do you have for us?
So we've talked about on the show before about needs of students and families and how those are, greatly increasing. We've seen over the last several years that schools have not just become a place where we get English, math, science, social studies. They've become the hub of taking care of students and families. And so as we've continued through and added lots of services, we have Centerstone and STARS counseling for our students. We have recently added, we want to kind of highlight this morning, a program called Care Solace. And our parents got communication on that just in the last few days, and there'll be some more things coming out. But it's a program that helps our parents to be able to access mental health, emotional support for both them and for their student. So it's a family support, a student support. Our staff can utilize it, but basically, these days it's really hard. There's a shortage of mental health providers, and so this service coordinates that for you. We can hand off a student and make a referral, or a family can call in, and they'll actually help you find places that will take your insurance. They'll help you make appointments. They'll find the right provider for you and kind of hold your hand through the process. So it's been a great benefit so far. We've seen a lot of usage starting.
Well, I can imagine a lot of situations where that is very, very much welcomed.
It is, and our counselors are doing a great job with it. If they see a student in need, then they can do a referral. It's called a warm handoff, and I like the way that sounds, in that, this is somebody we love and care about, a student, and we're going to hand them off to you for you to help us take care of them. So our counselor's doing a great job with referrals for that. So it's just one more tool we have now, and we're encouraging our people to take advantage of that.
Well, we have maybe, I guess there are problems we didn't see or know about or address 20, 30 years ago that have manifested themselves that need an answer. And that's what you sounds like you're doing here. You're trying to find a solution, an answer to some of these problems that people need help with.
We are. And just a few years ago, we recognized that we were going to need some assistance. And so we started a behavior support department. We've got one BCBA who is trained in that, and we have another person who's being trained in that as well. Just a shout out to Melissa Reynolds and to Candace Love. And Cindy Spickard is still working for us part-time, and she's helping in that area. But we've got a lot of students that come to us now, and they have, anxiety. Some of them have trouble just sometimes transitioning into the school building, and that has increased. We haven't seen, as much of that, but 4 or 5 years ago, we started seeing that. And COVID didn't help that because we had children who were used to being home with mama and daddy all the time because nobody went anywhere very much. And so just a lot of those things, when you talk about ACEs, those adverse childhood experiences, and trying to help those students be regulated in the classroom.
Yeah, I would think that if you can get them, and I'll use this expression for a better one, but for settled down, settled in, where they're more ready to learn. Because if they got a lot of problems, a lot of anxieties that their mind is fixed on, that's not a good learning situation.
That's exactly right, Coleman. And we talk, basic needs: food, clothing, shelter. Our teachers are highly qualified. They're highly qualified in subject areas. And so what we want to be able to do is for that teacher, ideally, that they're able to get in the room and teach their tails off like they do every day. But we need some layers of support. And that's where, and she's done a shout out to the behavior support team. They're phenomenal. And our teachers would attest to that. So, you hit the nail on the head. If we can get their head in the right space, then they're able to learn. But if we don't take care of those things, it's a struggle for all involved. So,
okay, with that, we will take our break right here. Our friends from the Lebanon Special School District, and I'll reintroduce my two guests when we come back after this break here on Coleman and Company FM 98.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. High performance, high horsepower, 0% financing is still a thing. Now is the best time to save on new Kubota L-Series tractors, rated #1 for durability and owner experience in the U.S. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Working an accident at 21st at Elston Place there in the Midtown area. Also Conference Drive at North Chase there in Goodlettsville. That's a crash at the intersection, getting some attention. Trying to wrap up an earlier wreck, Dickerson Pike near the interstate. Still taking some getting used to, where several streets and roads are closed there in Madison, up in Hendersonville as well. It's pretty busy, 65 south down through Millersville. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Middle Tennessee. Call Tomahawk Crane and Rigging at 423 area code 602-5438. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
Where a patient starts their cancer care matters. And here, that means Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, Wilson County. It's Vanderbilt level care without making the drive to Nashville. From screening to diagnosis to treatment and recovery, patients can get all the care they need right here close to home. So now, having the best care team and most advanced treatment is closer than ever. Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, making cancer care personal.
Coleman and Company, welcome to our final segment here for a Tuesday morning, but we thank you for joining us. We try to take care of our school systems here, and very happy to have with us this morning Brian Hutto from the Lebanon Special School District. He's director. Becky Kegley's here, and I believe you're assistant director. Is that right?
Sir.
Okay, well, let's pick up where we left off.
Sure, and Coleman, just to reiterate, we really appreciate this time as a school system to be able to sit. You have a wide-ranging audience, and I every time I leave, I get text of either other questions or thank you for that information or great job or I love Coleman. That's what that's what most of them are. So you're a celebrity of sorts, but given a school system,
thank you, but. I wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for the nice guests that I have here each morning.
Well, I take compliments about it as well as you do. So, but this time to be able to just update individuals and like I said, we appreciate it. So today, though, we're talking about how we support students other than academics, which is obviously our focus. We want them to be, we want to prepare them to be successful in whatever they do, but that takes a whole team. And so Ms. Kegley's sharing some of our behavioral supports and just things we do for families.
Okay, is there more you have to share with us?
Well, sure. Always. We are very fortunate that we've got some really strong departments that all kind of, help and jump in. You're very familiar with Beth Petty and the Family Resource Center. And
Isn't everybody?
Yeah, isn't everybody in Lebanon and Mount Juliet, Watertown? But the state has put it on just about all of our departments to jump in and help with the behavior support and to help with those emotional needs of students. So Beth Petty and our Family Resource Center, Ronnie McPeak, Coordinated School Health is a part of all of that as well. And so everybody gets to work together. I know that Beth's got some things she may want to talk to you about a little bit later, but when we have parents come to us for food and assistance, clothing, but they also come to us for, how do I help this child who's having these behavior issues or these emotional issues? And so we're fortunate that we have resources for parenting tips. Our behavior support, Candace and Melissa, they've just worked on a brochure to help parents to give them ideas for keeping their students, their children regulated. We talk about being regulated a lot. We need students to be regulated in the classroom, and so that way we can help them learn. We've got things that take place to help with that. Most of our classes in the mornings, they have circle time, and it kind of helps transition that child from whatever their life may be outside of the classroom into the classroom. Just kind of sets the stage, regulates them, helps calm whatever little storm they've got going on so they can be ready for the day.
Well, I want to think that it's good that is recognized, that we don't all come from the same background, and the family situations vary so much. And a former teacher's assistant that I'm very close to has told me about some of those, that you just don't really realize what some of these people, the home atmosphere or some of the things that are in their life that are not in everybody's. And you evidently have recognized this maybe more than ever and are trying to do something about it.
We really are, and for them to know that they're safe when they're in school, they're safe both physically and emotionally, that there's somebody there to talk to. We say it's very important that every child has at least one adult in the building that they can talk to about the things going on in their lives, whether that's a school counselor, and our counselors are so very important. We are trying to add counselors. We added one to each of our middle schools, so our middle schools have two. We're trying to get extra support in our elementary. Just maybe hired one yesterday for them. But you think about it, no matter who you are, where you come from, our world has a lot of dysregulation. I know I was sitting and my husband was watching the news the other day, and there were people yelling at each other on the news. I said, I can't listen to that anymore, and I needed to take a break from it. We all need a break from the world and from that dysregulation out there. And so, learning to give kids a break, giving them a mentor, having a check-in, check-out program where there's somebody that's helping them, keep an eye on them, and finding out what's going on in their lives can really help them be better students and help them learn. Are you doing more with that? And it sounds like you are now, maybe than ever before, and adding to it almost all the time, every year a little bit more, perhaps. Absolutely, and we would add more if we could find them, because school counselors right now are just key into what takes place. their job has gotten bigger. We looking for calm down centers for students. We've got some sensory rooms that, students can just kind of get it back together, and our counselors are a key part of all of that.
Well, now you have, I guess, pre-K through 8, so you have
That's
kind
right.
of a wide range of ages here, and what pertains to a kindergartner might be a little bit different from somebody in the 6th or 7th grade.
Absolutely, it is.
So you have to deal with that. How, and I guess who you have assigned certain responsibilities, the age of the child, children involved play a part in that too.
Coleman, you hit the nail on the head. Fantastic point, and you've got a perspective that we have to realize that not everyone comes from the same either background or has the same morning or has the same routine. And so, and it's not making excuses. I don't want people to be confused. It's expecting that we want them to be successful, but that takes different amounts. You may need X number of things to get you ready for the day, and I may need just one. Yep. But we want to make sure we don't ignore that, but we're set them up for success. So that point of really digging in, what's caused this, what do they need, how can we support, and our team and Ms. Kegley, they take that approach.
How successful are you in this? I mean, you and sometimes you may not know for a while, but hopefully you are making a difference. And do you have some proof of that?
Absolutely. I could give you an example. We had a child last year before last, who absolutely could not stay in the classroom, just was so dysregulated and had so many sensory kinds of things going on. Just could not sit in that classroom. And of course that, can be a little distracting to everybody else. But
a lot.
A lot sometimes. But, we had one of our behavior support people went and worked with that child every single day, lots of communication with parents and help with the teacher. And, I'd say 3/4 of the way into the school year, the principal walked me into the classroom and said, that's the child right there who is now sitting and engaging in class just like everybody else.
That's wonderful.
We have lots of success stories.
And if there wasn't extra attention given, I'm thinking you wouldn't have that to talk about.
You've got to have those bodies that can actually go in and be there, whether it's sometimes, I've seen Cindy Spicker just sitting by a student. She's not really doing anything, but that student knows they've got a support person there. They've got somebody who's helping them, holding them accountable, and sometimes it's just a matter of a person being right there beside them for that extra attention.
Do the school resource officers factor into this?
Absolutely they do, especially when you have students that may just need somebody to talk to, and that is their person. So they're there for lots of reasons. And they also, when we have students that are really dysregulated for some reason, they kind of stand by and are watchful and are a good resource. But I can't brag enough about our SRO officers. They are part of the family, and they help us in so many ways. But a lot of our students, I can think of Mr. Hutto came from Coles Ferry Elementary. We had Officer Hamlin there. He may be on a dress-up day in a tutu. He's just a part of the family, and the students love him and respect him for that, and it makes him an available resource for them as well.
Yeah. Well, this is good to hear. You have some problems. You're trying to address them, and really a multifaceted attempt at this, because one size doesn't fit all.
That's correct. And Coleman, to that spirit, the Care Solace, we've started that at the beginning of the year, but like Ms. Kegley said, we've rolled that out to families. And whether you're a grandparent or a parent or a student, that's accessible to you. And if you need help with that, just call the school. Most of it's online, and it's very simple. It's user-friendly and very helpful, we've seen.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of something else. It's a computer world, and I don't know what that's done to behavior or attitudes or whatever, but it is a different world with all those computers. What do you say about that?
Well, I have a lot to say about that, but we'll keep it brief. But yes, it does have a lot to do with the fact that the students, on one hand, they spend a lot of time away from school, on a screen. Some of them are accessing things that keep them dysregulated, whether it's things that are just very heightened, sometimes the violence and things. And with our older kids, you have to think about the brain doesn't develop at the rate that a child thinks it's developed. So you've got, 12, 13, 14-year-olds that have access to technology all the time, have a phone in their pocket or their backpack. And, sometimes they just have not matured enough to make good choices with those. And so we do see that as an issue.
Got about 2 minutes, kind of time to wrap it up, but it's been an interesting time this morning.
Well, as always, we enjoy it. Just a couple quick updates. We had our capacity analysis company from Kansas came in. They're looking at all of our buildings. They're looking at enrollment, boundaries, zoning. They did site-based visits last Monday, spent time in each building looking at how we utilize spaces. They'll give us suggestions, and so we're excited to get that information probably late January. And then just a heads up for our families, Lebanon Special's always had an app. We're phone-based, and it's one of those you can like it or not. But we have a new iteration of our app. We're going to roll that out after Christmas break. It's very user-friendly. Families will get good communication. It'll send notifications, updates. So stay tuned for that coming soon.
No excuse for not being informed.
Well, and we say you can never over-communicate. Now, your communication cannot always be helpful, but we want to make sure that if a family needs to know something, they know either where to go or they have access to it.
Okay, to reiterate what you said near the beginning here, I believe next Monday is the last full day of
next Tuesday. So full day, correct? Yes, they'll come next Monday all day, and then the 19th, 2 hours.
2 hours on a week from today.
Yes,
and then
sir.
You're out till when?
They come back January the 4th. I believe that's correct. Okay. Staff comes back a couple days before that for PD. But, yeah, we're excited.
Nice little break here, and I hope everybody enjoys it. Well, thank you all for being, and Becky Cagley, really good to have you with us today. Thanks for all this information. Appreciate what you're doing to help students' education. And Brian Hutto, as always, thanks for being with us.
I agree. Thank you, Coleman.
That's it for Tuesday. Join us tomorrow for the Wednesday edition. Till then, I wish you a terrific day.